Boy, oh boy, am I glad to be back. I told you I was coming back. You didn't believe me. You thought I was talking shit. I wasn't. This is talking shit. You know, I learned something while I was away. I've learned that the quality really doesn't matter. What matters is I pump shit out constantly. The time has come, and it's time to come. Let's just skip the introductions. Welcome back. Today, we're talking about a good video game. We're going to talk shit about a good video game. That's right. At a very specific part of this video game. You see, because Automata is a great game. Fantastic even. It has its problems, kind of a lot of them, but it's still really good. But we're not going to focus on that here. We're going to focus on the English dub exclusively. You see, there's been a surge, an ancient evil, of people with terrible taste who claim that the English dub is better than the original. And it's up to us to show these terrible people that their opinion is wrong and ours is objectively the right opinion. And by us, I mean me. Now, I want to make something simple very clear here. I have no problem with the people who enjoy the English dub. I have no qualm with these people. This goes out specifically to the people who claim that the dub surpasses the original. You can enjoy something without it actually being good, and it's completely fine. It's your subjective preference. Hell, some people actually enjoyed Persona 4, but these people, they're spewing bullshit, and they need a beating from Natty. As someone who played the game almost 4 times now, with once being in the dub, I feel like I know what I'm talking about. Oh, at least a little bit. So grab your body pillows and favorite doujin, or cosplaying your favorite Naruto character, because we're going to teach these baka gaijins not to mess with hot-blooded weeaboos.
Don't fuck with me! I have the power of God and anime on my side! Wait,
The concept of a dub that surpasses its original is something weird to me. For the dub to be able to surpass the original, the creators would have to work with, in this case, Westerners in mind from scratch. They would have to write not only for their culture, but for someone else's culture as well. To facilitate, they could simply hire a localization team to do the work for them, but for the dub to surpass the original, the creators would have to keep a close eye on a localization at all times. Some Japanese companies even focus on the Western customers first, and the Japanese customers second. This is the case with Capcom's Resident Evil series, where the English dub is the original dub. So for a dub to surpass the original, it's almost impossible. Sometimes you get something amazing. Sometimes you get something terrible, like everything fucking Funimation dubs.
Oh, those pesky patriarchal societal demands were getting on my nerves. So I changed clothes. Give it a week, they'll be begging you to change back. Huh?
And sometimes you get something really special.
Donuts down! Drop the Krispy Kreme, Serpico! We need your help
People in my
here!
house look like my father and my brother after 9 months
Even dubs like Cowboy Bebop's that are regarded as one of the best dubs of all time are just really good dubs that manage to match the original in tone and character. But sure, because most people are English speakers, they are able to identify themselves much quicker with the characters in the dub. And although I'm using anime as an example because I'm a filthy degenerate, this goes for about every media. TV shows, literature, movies, video games. Hell, I have to deal with dubs from my own country in a ton of movies that come out here, and I have to tell you, none of them are any good.
Isso! Veja como a vida está a mim com os olhos azuis! Calma, Fidel! Calma, Fidel! Calma, Fidel!
Now, I can already hear you. But Crave, I don't want to have to read while playing a game. I want to focus on the gameplay. Completely valid point. Listen, I agree with you completely. I'm not even being sarcastic. I really do. Having to constantly keep up with subtitles while trying to play a game can be detrimental to the experience. But this doesn't change whether the dub is good or not. Just because you lack a basic human function. But you don't understand Japanese. How can you possibly understand the characters? Boy oh boy, are you playing the wrong series to use that argument? Because there is something called tone. Keiichi Okabe, the man behind the soundtrack of both NieRs, said that his goal for the original soundtrack was to represent the character's emotion at any moment through song. If a character feels sad during a battle, even though usually a battle sequence would have some kind of fierce music playing, a song that would match the scene emotionally would play. And considering that most of the music was sung in a made-up language, if you can identify if the song is being portrayed as sad, cheerful, or angry kind of emotion, then, well, you just identified tone. If you're talking to someone else and you can't speak the same language as him, you can still identify whether that person's feeling angry, sad, or happy through the simple tone in his voice. It's how you identify a person's feelings. Hell, here's a bit of lore for you. Back when I was a wee little lad, I watched a fuck ton of Cartoon Network. Now, I'm an Europor, and I don't eat toast sandwiches. So English isn't my native language, and thankfully, Cartoon Network only had the original dub in my country. Hell, there weren't even subs, and I was able to identify the tone of the scene by the characters' reactions and the way they talk. Sure, I would miss out on more complex bits because I didn't have any subs, but I was able to understand most things without even speaking the language. So don't at me with that shitty excuse, okay? Now that we've learned what tone is, how does the English dub compare to the original? Kira Buckland. Kira Buckland never played the role of main character in such an important franchise before, and boy, does it fucking shows. Honestly, I would call this dub good if it wasn't for her. Real talk, if I was Anthony Fantano, I would give her a strong 4 to a light 5. I was very surprised at how McCarley handled Night S. He did a great job. Kermie Lane did a good job with A2 as well. But every time 2B opens her mouth and something close to emotion is needed, she fucking flops. And I think I know why it's so noticeable. 2B is a character that tries to hide her emotions for the majority of the game. There's a good reason for it. This makes the times where her emotions burst out to be much more noticeable. And although Kira does make a good job at sounding emotionless, not like that's anything to brag about, she does not add up when trying to convey emotion.
We all need something to fight for, don't we?
You son of a... I'll kill you!
It wouldn't be a problem if this was a small character, but it's one of the fucking main characters. The first one the newcomers will play as, and one of the players are meant to connect to the most. Also, the commander.
2B. Maintenance finished? Yes, Commander. You detonated your black box in order to defeat the enemy. Bold, but risky. Try not to be so reckless next time.
I have no idea what kind of voice is she trying to pull off, but it sounds terribly fake. I've seen fan dubs do a better job. What the fuck happened? How can a dub have such a mixed bag? And yes, I'll keep calling Kira a fat bitch until she fixes herself or puts some clothes on to cover up her fat. Good God, woman, you look terrible. Fix yourself. Come on, you deserve better. You look like you come out of a trash can. You do not want to look like the woman who comes out of a trash can. You can be a better voice actress. You can look better. Fix that shit, girl. Also, quit smoking. I can tell by your face. A lot of the machines in this game, at least in the dub, sound more emotional than they probably should. If you play the original, you know that the machines have this very monotone voice to them, being only a few like Pascal that actually show different emotions. The most clear example I can point out are the pods. In the original, throughout the whole game, the pods kept the same emotionless tone, while in the English dub it's very apparent that the pitch in their voice changes from time to time. Pet the pods in both versions, you'll see what I mean. This didn't really bother me. It's very clear that the team tried to make them as emotionless as possible, while also giving them a bit of character. They just didn't manage to pull it off as well as the original. There's also another issue I have that doesn't concern the voice actors. This comes with the issues of localization. But to understand that, you need to go back. Back to the past. Samurai Jack was trash.
Whoa, what a freak. Looked like a talking penis.
Yoko Taro is a weird man. A good man, but not a very sane one. And if there is one thing he takes very seriously in his games, it's the characters. Their interactions and small touches they have with each other usually have some sort of explanation behind them. This can come through as a small smile or a full-on autistic breakdown.
It is a world without Furia.
A drowning man knows not the ocean's vastness, only its depth.
He also doesn't write normal characters. In Drakengard 1, you play as an insane psychopath who hates dragons, but he's so fully convicted to the path of murder that when he is about to die, makes a pact with the dragon regardless just so that he can keep on killing. He also loses the ability to speak, the price he paid for the pact. And now that he can speak, the only way he can get his point across is through the point of his blade. With murder. You'll join forces with a priest that wants to fucking Dios Volt everything and anything that isn't human, but does fuck all and just uses Kaim to do all the killing. Kaim doesn't mind since he just wants to keep killing. This is pretty much their entire relationship through the game. He's also bold. The price he paid for his pact with the petrified dragon. Yes, his pact partner is just as useless as himself. A blonde-haired faggot of a pedophile that made a pact with fucking fairies of all things and enjoys a tight young butthole. Kaim keeps him around because he can sense energy or some shit. A trade-off from going blind from the pact. But honestly, the only thing he wants to sense is the tight, warm insides of a young small soul wrapping around his hardened a cannibal and borderline insane bitch who, from her pack, lost her womb, so now she eats children in order to fill the void. Kaim keeps her around because, well, she kills shit. They kind of understand each other. A little boy that has no problems with killing, but is overall the most annoying and useless party member of almost any fucking game I ever played. He's also the most normal character of the group. Pedo Dude likes him for obvious reasons. Kaim would have probably killed the little fucker the first chance he got. And quite honestly, he should have. Oh, and your dragon, Angelus.
Mighty dragon, you will regret challenging fools such as me.
She's a good girl. Now try to take a guess at how this game got through the West's obviously not censorship approval system.
We've got trouble.
Well, things like Furia's lust for her brother and Leonard's love for the young ones are kept as subtle as possible. Well, as subtle as you can possibly get in a game as fucked up as this. The scene where Kaim looks absolutely disgusted at his sister, without the context that only the original dub provides, looks just really weird. In the dub, Mana claims that she wants Kaim to hug her, and Kaim just looks fucking pissed at that idea. While in the original, it's very clear that she wants to get way more touchy than just a simple sibling hug. Honestly, it was tampered with, but I'm surprised at how much of this game managed to be intact. Like, shit like this wouldn't fly in today's age. There's a whole level dedicated to Kaim just straight up murdering a whole army of child soldiers while they scream for their mommy, and they deal no fucking damage. They are nothing to you, but the murder train only goes one way. Leonard just stays in the background and cries while watching all that boy pussy go to waste, and even Angelus tells you how much of a piece of shit you are, but you just keep killing. Then later on in the game, these godlike babies come out of the sky and you just fucking kill them without any second thought. You know what? I agree with the priest. This world needs a good cleansing. Next in line is Drakengard 2. Oh, wait. That's not done by Taro. Okay, it doesn't matter. Next one is NieR. NieR is probably the one the majority of people started with. Hell, it was the same for me. I can't blame him. NieR is a fantastic little gem of a game. But in terms of localization, this game is a tricky one. Square made two versions of NieR, Gestalt and Replicant. Gestalt being the version that came overseas, while Replicant was Japan exclusive. But did you know that the Gestalt version was also released in Japan? You see, according to Square, everyone who owns an Xbox in Japan is nothing more than gaijin scum, so they released Gestalt in Japan as an Xbox exclusive, while Replicant was a PlayStation exclusive. The funny thing is that the Japanese Gestalt and our NieR are the exact same game. They didn't even bother to make a Japanese dub. The English dub is what the Xbox owners got. had to deal with fucking subs. Although this change was suggested by Square's suits to cater to a Western audience, it's kinda hard to touch this topic because, well, it's still the same version that the rest of the world in Japan got. Both versions of NieR are pretty much canon in Drakengard timeline as well. So let's just focus on the changes between Gestalt and Replicant. Who gives a shit? Okay, Gestalt gets Papa NieR, Replicant gets Boy Pussy NieR. Let's move away from the obvious here. Papa NieR is a hardened barbarian capable of doing any kind of dirty work to help his daughter live, while Brother NieR literally sold his ass for her. Papa NieR is obviously the best choice. However, it's pretty clear that Replicant is the more Yoko Taro version of the game. From simple hits to one's character's sexuality, to references of incest between Yone and NieR, things like Emil being gay and Kaine being an hermaphrodite are, although hinted, hidden in the Gestalt version. Besides that, the dub is pretty damn good. Everyone hits the marks with their characters. Hell, Poppola's "No One Stops" line still hits me right in the heart after all these years. And Taylor nailed Emil so well that it honestly pained me to listen to him in Japanese while playing Automata, simply because of how much I associated her voice to him. That's one of the best things you can achieve as a voice actor. Hell, especially for the dub. Shout out to Vice too. Some people complain that NieR sounded dry and boring, and I get it, but I always thought that was the point. He's an old man that's fed up with the world and just wants his daughter safe. He's not a very exciting guy. He's a simple man. I respect that. He's also really dumb.
Crying. She says she wants to see her dad.
Yona's been possessed?
And I respect that. Now Drakengard 3. Jesus, what a mess. But as a game, and localization-wise, here's the little secret for you. Yoko Taro games, they don't sell hot. Hell, the fact that this guy was allowed to make more games is impressive on its own. Drakengard 3 came out in Japan first, with no word of a Western release. It's pretty clear that Square wasn't planning for a Western release of this game until they saw that a bunch of retards like myself actually wanted to buy an unoptimized mess of a game. Well, I'm not sure on what Square was keeping their eyes on at the time, because come on, have you seen what the West has been getting away with for now? Westerners love unoptimized messes of unfinished games. Get with the times, Grandpa. Oh hey, look! They learned! Hell, Europores don't even get a physical copy of the game, they can only buy digital. Yeah, but what does this say about the dub and localization? Well, it only takes a small look into it to figure it out. Lip sync? Completely off. Hell, they didn't even attempt to try, that's how bad it got.
That wasn't a compliment.
Voice acting? I mean, they tried. Some actually do a pretty good job. Some others just kinda sound out of place, I guess. But the biggest problem here really is the localization. Some characters have been absolutely fucked with. To the point of saying that they aren't the same character in both versions isn't an understatement. English Zero is an edgy, too cool for school, always bitchy and mad about everything with her period on a non-stop constant, even while fucking. With even more cursing because that's what the kids want. Because it's kids that will definitely buy a Yoko Taro game. While Japanese Zero is much more calm and collected, but also suffering from mood swings. She's not the most sane person of the group. Hell, she's a pretty laid-back character. So laid back that she really doesn't take anything seriously until it hits the fan. Hell, even killing. If you're playing with a Japanese dub, like the good guy you really are, you can notice that when she says something like, "I'll kill you," or "shut up," she often says it with a laid-back, almost relaxed tone. The reason why other party members in Mikhail take it so seriously is because they know very well that she can. Another character is Sent. Sent is probably the best boy of Drakengard 3. He just really loves Lady 2, and when you end up killing her, he joins your party because he's obligated to. He blames Zero for it, and decides to constantly take the piss out of everyone by being the most sarcastic twat he can possibly be until someone puts him down for good. In the English dub, this was reduced to Sent telling bad jokes. I'm not sure if they are aware that this is him being an asshole and not his actual self, or if they actually got that. Regardless, it did piss me off. Quite a lot, really. But I'm not really sure if it was for the right reasons. So the dub for Drakengard 3 is a mess. So how does this tie in with Automata? Well, Automatic Tomato also suffered for some light changes. Ah, fuck it, let's just roll the example. Wait. That's not what she said.
great.
To be sarcastic now. Why? I don't fucking know. She definitely wasn't like that in the Japanese dub. And this is not just a one-time thing, mind you. I'm keeping this low just because of spoilers, but this definitely happens way more in the game. Even in a battle sequence, 2B will act like a sarcastic cunt, even in a scene where she's definitely supposed to feel threatened. You know, and at first I thought they maybe changed this to try to help Kira, because maybe Kira's just better at acting, you know, sarcastic. But then they changed it to fucking 9S as well!
きっとこの世界から消滅するときにわかる私たちにもそうですね
Now let's just pretend for a second that I do not know what he just said. Let's pretend that I don't. You seen that tone? You listen to the tone that he said? Well, I can make up for what he said. I can. And you know what I think he didn't say? Not fucking this! Why? Why would you do this? You clearly worked hand in hand with Square Enix and Platinum and maybe even Yoko Taro on the localization because the fucking Japanese release got dual audio. This is blatantly shitting on the original characterization of these characters for no other reason than the simple fact that the localization team thought, maybe this will serve them better, maybe Westerners will like this better. They have no fucking clue. I don't care if it's just a small piece. I don't care how fucking small this little change is. It still shouldn't fucking happen. Is it okay to shit on the original content? Is it okay to shit on the original creator? Were they trying to make the characters more likable this way? Because it just makes them look like fucking twats. The localization team just made assumptions that maybe if they change a little bit of the characterizations, the Westerners will like them better. Well, it doesn't fucking work. You wanna know why? Because if there's light novels, because if there's fucking side stories of these fucking characters, in those side stories, they will not act sarcastic or any other fucking characterization that you added to them. I can't fucking believe people defend this. Oh boy, people will fucking defend this. People will actually defend this! Yeah, it feels good to be fucking done. I wanted to do some other stuff. I wanted to fix some of the audio. It's just that the way I set it up, my recording, I had to recode everything that I recorded in a different format because Sony Vegas is a little bitch and didn't like that format apparently. So I had to rework everything, recode everything again, and it was a pain in the fucking ass. So I wanted to record again, redo some of the audio that I did. I thought some of it sounded a little bit messy and I wanted to redo it, but fuck that. After I figured out the mess I did, fuck it, what I did is what I got. Fuck it. NieR Automata's dub isn't a bad one, it's just could have been a much better one. I have a feeling this all started with some dub-only Audist that got fucking triggered because everyone kept saying that subs were superior, and the only way for him to make himself feel better is to tell himself that dubs are superior in every single way, even though he's wrong. I have a feeling that the only game this type of people played was Automata. Well, they probably would even defend Drakengard 3. Almost every single review that I would watch of Automata, no one actually brought the localization up. So, I decided to do it. Will I ever make a video actually talking about Automata as a game? No. I feel like it has been done to death. If you want to hear my opinion on it, just fucking watch like Vash TSB's video on it. It's pretty much the same opinion on the game. It's really good. I like it. I really like it. You should play it. You should have already played it before even watching this, you dumb cunt. I just wanted to call these people out. Otherwise, if we keep telling the localization team that it's okay to keep making these kind of mistakes and just keep forgiving them over and over again, we're gonna get another Drakengard 3. And I don't want another Drakengard 3. I guess that's a good way to summarize this whole video. I just don't want another Drakengard 3. Also, I have completely no idea on how to end the video or how to deal with outros, so I'm just gonna cut the video right here, okay? Bye.